Most welcome to another video, and this video is important for the series of overprotection that we had earlier on. There is a special playlist for that one, so the one who has time to listen to them now yet and watch them, you can do so. This will be video number 10 in that series. And we also open a new playlist because of a tournament for visually impaired chess players that took place in Uppsala in late May. It's called the Six Nations Tournament. It is a tournament for teams and for 4 players per team. And this year, Sweden, Germany, Italy, France, and Slovenia took part. Unfortunately, the Netherlands could not take part, so we then put in a sighted team with youngsters from the area, which made it possible to play without any buys, any rounds when people could not play. I would say, although I was a part of the organization, it's maybe not up to me, that it was a very social event. People were very friendly. There were a lot of hard battles on the chessboard, but not outside the chessboard, I would say. A special thank I have to give to Uppsala Chess Academy, a club. When I lived in Uppsala, I moved from that city in 2010. Then I didn't even notice that club. It was pretty new at that time. Now it has 800 members. And for example, one guy from that club, Jon Ulfur, really made this event happen. And also a big thank to my dear friend Jesper Hall, who, besides being chairman for the European Chess Union's Education Committee, is also a very skilled chess player, international master, and a very good chess coach and organizer. I am happy to cooperate with Jesper many times in many different settings. So, probably I have forgotten to mention other people, but I will also give a link to Uppsala Chess Academy's homepage, where you will find the PGN file of all games. What I will do with the material from the tournament, I will actually go through my games, all my 5 games. I wasn't sure I should cover them all, but some of you have asked me to go through my games from the tournament. And okay, why not do it from A to C? But we start in the end of it. The last round, Sweden played against Germany. And I think the situation was like that if Sweden would lose with 3-1, then Germany would be the winner. So we had to avoid that. I played Thorsten Müller, the German champion, and also treasurer of IBCA. So a very prestigious event, president against treasurer. So now we go. I was right and played pawn to Echo4. Pawn to Echo4. Thorsten played pawn to Echo6. Pawn to Echo6. I had not prepared anything for this game, I must admit. So I thought I should go for the lines that I had discussed in this channel. I have other options against the French also, but I don't want to disclose that right now. I went for pawn to delta 4. Pawn to delta 4. Black played pawn to delta 5. pawn to delta 5. Yeah, the time control was 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment from move 1. And now I pushed pawn to echo 5, pawn to echo 5. And I was especially interested in how the game would develop because I knew that Thorsten had watched at least some of the videos that I had about overprotection. So he played pawn to Charlie 5, pawn to Charlie 5, pawn to Charlie 3, pawn to Charlie 3. Black continued, knight to Charlie 6, knight to Charlie 6, all well known from earlier. And I played knight Foxtrot 3, knight to Foxtrot 3. We have mostly covered queen to Bravo 6 in this position, but Thorsten played the other main move, bishop delta 7, bishop delta 7, which is a perfectly good move, and it gives black the opportunity to develop the queen side very fast with rook Charlie 8, for example. I went bishop delta 3, bishop delta 3, steering towards the pawn sacrifices that we have discussed earlier. Rook Charlie 8, rook to Charlie 8, and I castled kingside. King, castle, kingside. And here, Thorsten played Charlie takes delta 4, Charlie takes delta 4. And before I started to go through the game now with Stockfish in preparation for this recording, I thought that white more or less had to sacrifice the pawn now, because after Charlie takes delta 4, if white would have recaptured, black could play knight Bravo 4, knight to Bravo 4, and then the bishop can't move because then it follows knight Charlie 2. So black would get the bishop pair. According to Stockfish, however, it is perfectly fine for white to just develop knight Charlie 3. And okay, black got the bishop pair, but it took a bit of time. So white would have quick development and can start action on the queen side. It would be slight plus for white. But in addition to knight Bravo 4, it might be possible for black to play queen Bravo 6, responding to if white plays Charlie takes delta 4. It's possible. I didn't consider that during the game. I instead played rook echo 1, rook to echo 1. Now we have reached this position where white overprotects the echo 5 square. For those who haven't gone through the material, go into the playlist overprotection, start to watch the game. Was it Steinitz? I don't remember his opponent. That was game 1 in the series, and work you through, because many of the ideas from that series will pop up in this video. Rook to echo 1. The idea is to protect echo 5 and do a lot of useful moves and see how black continues. Normally white is happy to see delta takes Charlie 3 here. Delta takes Charlie 3. But knight takes Charlie 3, I would say, is quite nice for white. Free development, and you can try to use delta 4 as an outpost for a knight. And okay, you are pawn down, but white has good pieces and space advantage, whereas black has a bit of a cramped position. Thorsten instead, he played pawn to alpha 6. Pawn to alpha 6. And this was a bit tricky position for me. I couldn't really figure out what to play. I started thinking of pawn to hotel 4. But the one who has followed my videos know that I don't like to play pawn to hotel 4 if black has not already committed his king's knight to echo 7. I think that black should respond with knight to hotel 6 and then plant the knight on golf 4 with the good prospects of pressuring foxtrot 2. We have a game in this series on that theme. So okay, pawn to hotel 4 is not an option. Pawn to hotel 3 is actually an option for Stockfish. The idea, I guess, is to take control of golf 4 so that black can't put a knight on golf 4. But I don't really know what to do then. I've also thought of playing knight bravo to delta 2. That might also have been a good idea. Maybe. But what I overlooked was what seems to be the best idea. And that is actually to play knight takes delta 4. Knight takes delta 4. Now I have protected echo 5 with the rook, so I can capture on delta 4 with the knight. And if black exchanges knights on delta 4, white would have the advantage in this position. Normally it is good for white if we have exchanges on delta 4, because then the knight from bravo 1 can go to Charlie 3. I think this is not, I shouldn't exaggerate, but it is a small but clear advantage to white. I was too fixed in my mind on the sacrifice that blacks sooner or later had to capture on Charlie 3. So I didn't think clearly here, although I spent quite a lot of time on this position. One can maybe say that if black spends time on moves that are not queen to bravo 6, then knight takes delta 4 in such position is a pretty good idea. That is something to keep in mind for my future games, and you might avoid committing the error that I made. I didn't play a fantastically bad move, but I played pawn to alpha 3. Pawn to alpha 3. And now I would say that black has a substantial edge here. I wasn't sure about that during the game, but after having gone through a bit with Stockfish, I would say that had black now played bishop Charlie 5, this would have given black a plus. Maybe half a pawn up or something. Bishop to Charlie 5 is good. The bishop can also now hide on alpha 7 thanks to black's alpha 6 move. And white really doesn't want black to build up pressure towards foxtrot 2. So white's response actually had to be pawn to Charlie 4. Pawn to Charlie 4. And after exchanges on Charlie 4, white would continue with moves like knight bravo delta 2, probably retreating bishop that has captured on Charlie 4 back to delta 3, knight up to Charlie 4 or echo 4. And okay, black is better, but white has a considerable compensation also. And practical play might even be nicer for white. It depends on what kind of player you are, what style you actually favor. Black instead played queen bravo 6, queen to bravo 6, which is also a perfectly fine move. Here, I probably should have played pawn to bravo 4, which is consistent with alpha 3. But I was worried about if I played pawn to bravo 4 here, then black takes on Charlie 3, delta takes Charlie, white recaptures, knight takes Charlie 3, and black can play knight takes bravo 4. Because when I take on bravo 4, black can take the knight on Charlie 3. So this would lose another pawn. But still, according to Stockfish, after knight takes bravo 4, I flink in bishop to echo 3. Black retreats with the queen. I think it was maybe queen delta 8. And alpha takes bravo 4, rook takes Charlie 3. And white pushes on with bravo 5, trying to open the queen side. And still, black is objectively better, but it is not at all an easy position to play for black. So this would have been the consistent follow-up, which I didn't choose. Instead, I thought I was out of constructing waiting moves, so I went for knight bravo to delta 2. Knight bravo to delta 2. And yeah, now I think it starts to make sense for white to capture on delta 4, but also to play knight to bravo 3, to plonk a knight on delta 4, even after exchanges on Charlie 3. So Thorsten went for the most principled move, delta takes Charlie 3, delta takes Charlie 3. And I played bravo takes Charlie 3. Now white is a pawn down still, but in addition, white has a very weak pawn on Charlie 3. What do we then have in return for it? Lead in development and space. Black went for the natural knight alpha 5, knight to alpha 5. And I would say that black is better in this position, but still it is a difficult position to play for black. And we will see how the game develops. It is a demanding position for both players, and I wanted a fighting battle because trying to win the game and help my team getting at least 1.5 points on the 4 board, securing place number 1 in the tournament. Knight alpha 5. And I put flicked in rook bravo 1, rook to bravo 1. Developing with tempi. Here, Thorsten played the most natural move, but it is not the best one. Queen to Charlie 7. Queen to Charlie 7. And why is this not the best move? Yes, it is because here white can go for the very strong as well as very primitive knight golf 5. Knight to golf 5. I was considering that idea seriously during the game because I had a vague memory of having seen that in the games I already had gone through on this channel. First of all, black should then, instead of queen Charlie 7, have played queen delta 8 to stop knight golf 5. That is actually the point I think Stockfish makes. But after queen Charlie 7, knight to golf 5, it is not possible for black to just push hotel 6, because then white will play queen to hotel 5 with a winning position. Black can of course play more cautious moves like knight hotel 6, protecting foxtrot 7 in that way after knight to golf 5, but white has promising attacking chances after knight foxtrot 1, knight golf 3, maybe continuing with knight hotel 5 and so on. I don't remember exactly the evaluation Stockfish gives, but it is something like 0.3, 0.4 pawns better for black, which means that white is already a pawn down on the board with a lost pawn on Charlie 3. So it actually tells that white has significant compensation for the material. Instead of playing the best move, knight to golf 5, I went for an also perfectly logical continuation. And that is the quite bold, I dare to say, pawn to Charlie 4. Pawn to Charlie 4. This is an idea we had in this game, Nimzowitsch, was it Levenhardt or something, that we already had on this channel. The idea is to distract the pawn from delta 5 so that white, in return for a pawn, would get the control of echo 4. So we can bring the knight from delta 2 to echo 4 into delta 6 with good attacking chances. But I must say that I wasn't that well prepared, so working this out took me a lot of time. I think I have spent at least 50 of my 90 minutes so far. Thorsten played a bit quicker. I think maybe he had spent 25-30 minutes. He had mainly done good and natural moves, whereas I had to work a bit harder to drum up some play out of my position. Here, Thorsten committed an error. He played knight takes Charlie 4. Knight takes Charlie 4. The best would have been to play delta takes Charlie 4. I then have to retreat the bishop to Charlie 2, thus giving up a tempi, which is important in such positions. But nevertheless, even with bishop Charlie 2, white has quite a lot of compensation. Maybe black is up half a pawn or something, but knight echo 4 followed by jumping into delta 6, also knight jump any of them to golf 5 sometimes comes into consideration. But I thought the black was a bit better here, thanks to my errors in the opening. For example, overlooking knight takes delta 4 earlier in the game after my rook echo 1. Also, I should have pushed bravo 4 after I played pawn to alpha 3. This would also have been sacrificing pawns, but with even better prospects than I have in the game. Here, I am objectively a bit worse, but not much. Especially now, knight takes Charlie 4. When black played that, I would say that white's chances are equal to black's. I played bishop takes Charlie 4, bishop takes Charlie 4, and black played delta takes Charlie 4, delta takes Charlie 4. And I played knight to echo 4, knight to echo 4. And now we see that although black has very scary pawns on the queen side, black can follow up with pawn to bravo 5 and in the long run march the majority of 3 pawns against 1 on the queen side flank down, promoting them to queens. Wouldn't like to see that. But before that happens, black has to defend his king. Here we could think of playing bishop Charlie 6, for example. bishop takes Charlie 6. No, not takes, bishop to Charlie 6. But then, as an example line, we can think of knight delta 6 check, bishop takes delta 6, echo takes delta 6. Black can flick in the Zwischenzug, the move in between. Bishop takes foxtrot 3. Bishop takes foxtrot 3. But white has quite alright play after golf takes foxtrot 3, and then white can build up, play on the G file even by maybe we shouldn't play golf takes foxtrot 3. Maybe even playing queen takes foxtrot 3 is better. Queen takes foxtrot 3, black can take, queen takes delta 6, and we have rook takes bravo 7. Rook takes bravo 7. I think this was the sample line from Stockfish. And this gives white, I think the position is about equal, but it is white who is pushing. Instead, Thorsten played the best move. He played pawn to Charlie 3. Pawn to Charlie 3. We don't like to see that pawn being pushed to Charlie 2 now with a fork on the queen and the rook. So I went for queen to delta 4. Queen to delta 4. Now I think I was down to maybe 15-20 minutes to go. I think it was something like this. Thorsten had far more time on the clock. But at the same time, now threats like knight delta 6 is looming up again here. Yeah, there are different moves. Bishop Charlie 6 is one move, but still knight delta 6 is perfectly legit after that. We can think of Bishop Charlie 6, knight delta 6 check, bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight, and then I threaten both the queen on Charlie 7 and the pawn on golf 7. So we can see that black's lack of development can suddenly start to tell. Instead, Thorsten played bishop to Charlie 5, bishop Charlie 5, which is the best move. It's interesting to see that black plays the best move usually through the game. But the position is that difficult anyway, so it is still tough for black. Here, Stockfish recommends that I should play queen delta 3, queen to delta 3. And yeah, just continue with piece development. I wasn't so sure about this, but yeah, the more I look at it, the more it makes sense. But I didn't consider that one during the game very much. I considered capturing with knight takes Charlie 5, followed by playing queen to foxtrot 4 or golf 4. This was an idea I had, which probably would have given black the advantage. But I, at the end, came up with the move queen takes Charlie 3. Queen takes Charlie 3. And it felt as a relief having stopped this Charlie pawn. But now there will be some exchanges, so my attacking chances decrease, and my pawn structure on the king side becomes scattered. Black, of course, played bishop takes foxtrot 2 check. Bishop takes foxtrot 2. And I played king takes foxtrot 2. King takes Foxtrot 2. We exchange on Charlie 3. Queen takes Charlie 3. Queen takes Charlie 3. I captured with the knight. Knight takes Charlie 3. Knight takes Charlie 3. And black played Rook takes Charlie 3. Rook takes Charlie 3. And I played Rook takes Bravo 7. Rook takes Bravo 7. As mentioned, I was a bit under time pressure, but now the position has cleared up quite a bit, and I was not at all considering risking to lose the game here. Earlier, when you sacrifice 2 pawns, it is of course a risky decision. Now I am 1 pawn down, but I have the initiative. Black has still some problems with completing development. We have uncolored bishops, which is good for the side who is attacking. So I was quite positive about my chances here. Yeah, Stockfish also think the position is equal. Black played Knight Echo 7. Knight to Echo 7. And I probably here should have played, what was it? Maybe even pawn alpha 4, or was it I don't remember what move actually Stockfish recommends here, but it was not the move that I chose. Yeah, maybe it was Knight to Golf 5 immediately. That could actually be the case. But I played Rook Delta 1, Rook to Delta 1. And this seems to be a bit inaccurate. I wanted to activate the rook, putting pressure on the bishop, but according to Stockfish, Bishop Charlie 8, Rook Alpha 7 would give black the edge. When you start to run Stockfish, it gives a clear plus for black, but the longer you run it, it decreases. After all, it is a position with uncolored bishops, and white has the initiative. It is only 1 pawn down for white. But this had been better. Thorsten played Knight Delta 5. Knight Delta 5, a perfectly logical move, I would say. And I now swung my knight. Knight Golf 5. Knight to Golf 5. Finally, maybe being able to put a knight on Delta 6. This is what I have tried to do for a long time, but maybe now it would happen. Thorsten played pawn to Hotel 6, pawn Hotel 6, and I was quite pleased with this move. To see that move, I think. Yeah, but it's not so easy for black to play. Maybe Rook Charlie 7 could have been a better move, for example. But still, black is pretty passive here. So, yeah, it is understandable that black plays Hotel 6, because white might threaten Knight takes Foxtrot 7. Not exactly now, because then Rook Foxtrot 8 would trap the knight, but this is a threat that black has to deal with sometimes here. So it's natural also that black wants to get rid of the knight from Golf 5. But now it jumps into Echo 4. Knight Echo 4. And I think I was now down to something, between 5, 6, 7 minutes, something. I think Thorsten had maybe 25 minutes, but the position is no longer easy to play for black. Yeah, no longer is the wrong word. It has never been easy. But now it starts to... if black commits mistakes, it now tends to be critical, because white has managed to activate more pieces in the attack on the black king. So, primarily, I want to jump the knight into delta 6, and I'm now threatening also the rook. So, black played rook Charlie 2 check first, rook to Charlie 2, and here Stockfish recommends bishop delta 2, bishop delta 2, and yeah, later on it might be possible to activate the bishop, but also sometimes black has to retreat the rook down the Charlie file, and then the bishop is already activated. One can, of course, always later on move the king to Golf 1. But I played king Golf 1 instead, king to Golf 1. I didn't think very much here. I was just playing a quick move because I was a bit low on time and I didn't want to get into serious time trouble. Black now plays king to echo 7. King to echo 7. And yeah, it's logical. You want to develop the rook from hotel 8, completing development. But having the king on echo 7, it is not the nicest thing in the world, really. White can either play what I did in the game, bishop delta 2, or push pawn to alpha 4, preparing bishop alpha 3 check. These ideas are similar to the one in the game. Bishop delta 2 was my move. Bishop delta 2. Now you can see that if I may play a move immediately again, bishop bravo 4 check. Black cannot really capture. Knight takes bravo 4 because then I first take on delta 7 with the rook. And the game is over, I would say. So you can see the rook on delta 1, yeah, it starts to at least take part in the attack also. Here, black could have played rook hotel to Charlie 8, but still white has moves like knight delta 6, bishop bravo 4. Is not at all a nice situation for black, especially now when the clock is ticking, so even Thorsten gets into time trouble. So he played rook alpha 8, rook alpha 8, and now white actually has a significant advantage. One might say that chess is not a fair game. I have committed a number of minor inaccuracies, whereas Thorsten has played good moves most of the time. But now black is worse. So but it is a difficult position. One has to evaluate the positions not only from how they are objectively, but also from how difficult or easy is it to play the respective positions. White has attacking chances, and that is often more easier than defending. Now I was quite low on time. I think now something like between 3 and 4 minutes. Thorsten was had a little bit better time, but I think he was also well below 10 minutes. I played bishop bravo 4 check. Bishop bravo 4 check. And as we know, knight takes bravo 4 doesn't work, because then I would capture on delta 7 first, and then I can always, if nothing else, I can always regained the piece on bravo 4, being a pawn up, being a piece up. Black played king delta 8, and yeah, actually this is a difficult position now. I wanted to test a little bit different tricks, so I first threw in bishop alpha 5 check. I was hoping for a move like knight Charlie 7 that would be completely losing for black, because after white just increases the pressure with knight delta 6, for example, black is completely tied up, and yeah, this position is simply lost. You can analyze it yourself or with the help of a chess engine. Thorsten didn't fall for that. He played king to echo 7, king to echo 7, and I played bishop bravo 4 check again. So I gained some time on the clock. Bishop bravo 4 check, king delta 8. Now I wanted to try to put up another small trick. I played knight Charlie 5. Knight Charlie 5. Now the bishop on Charlie 6 is threatened, and if it, yeah, for example, bishop on delta 7 is threatened, sorry. And if black, for instance, would play bishop to Charlie 6, then rook takes foxtrot 7 would cause a lot of damage to black's position. The echo 6 pawn is now weak, the golf 7 is weak. Yeah, black is in all sorts of trouble. So Thorsten played the only move, bishop echo 8, bishop to echo 8. And I thought I had tried my trick. I still had my first option. I hadn't used it yet, so I retreated my knight to echo 4. Knight to echo 4. And I expected Thorsten to go for bishop delta 7 for the reason that would be obvious in the game. But had Thorsten played bishop delta 7, I still would have had the clear plus after knight delta 6. Knight delta 6. Stockfish gives white about 0.9 pawns up. I'm 1 pawn down on the board, but the position is clearly favorable for white. I can always capture on foxtrot 7, thus equalizing in material. And when that is done, you can continue with in the long run playing rook to foxtrot 1, also trying to penetrate with the rook along the f file. White often pushes the pawn hotel 4, so that you can always get out with your king to hotel 2 if necessary. And white enjoys a long-term attack that is very hard, especially in time pressure. Time pressure also now showed that it takes its tribute even on a strong player like Thorsten. He now wanted to play an aggressive move because he had been booted around for quite a while, so he committed the grave error, pawn to alpha 5, pawn to alpha 5. And if you so wish, you can pause the video and see if you find the final move, which I did. Bishop echo 7 check, bishop to echo 7 check. And you see that the knight on delta 5 is pinned, so it can't capture. And if black plays king Charlie 8, which is the only move, the game is over by knight delta 6 checkmate. Knight delta 6 checkmate. So bishop echo 7 caused black to resign. What can we then learn from this game? Yeah, we can, from the opening point of view, we had some things that after rook echo 1, white could preferably have played knight takes delta 4. But even as I played alpha 3, I can actually continue with bravo 4, even if it would mean sacrificing another pawn. I would still enjoy the clearly better development. As the game turned out, an important thing is, I think it is on move 13, when I played Charlie 4. There I had the chance to play knight to golf 5, giving me approximately equal chances, but very good attacking play. Maybe I would be down 2 pawns, but all vice pieces would head for the black monarch. Knight foxtrot 1 to golf 3, to hotel 5 probably, and so on. It's worth digging deeper into this thing. What we had in the game after I played Charlie 4, which is also interesting and inspired of the games we had already discussed in this series about overprotection. First of all, black should have gained the tempi by taking with the delta pawn instead of with the knight on Charlie 4. Now, but yeah, it was natural. Black also gained the 2 bishops after knight takes Charlie 4, delta takes, knight takes Charlie 4, bishop takes and delta takes. But after knight echo 4, I think the chances are about even, at least in practical play, because white has a lot of attacking chances there. And yeah, we can see how the game developed. It's quite typical how it can turn out. So if you want to play, take some risks, playing for quick development, sacrificing some pawns in order to attack the black king, while his forces are still relatively undeveloped, yeah, this is a way of playing for you. But it is absolutely not a way to play that is without risk. And I have devoted a lot of time to this line, but I started to commit errors pretty early in the game. But next time I know a little bit better. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you.